Hey folks, it's Alex Rivera here, coming at you from the creaky porch of my Lighthouse B&B in Driftwood Bay, Oregon. You know the spot where the Pacific crashes against jagged black rocks like it's got a personal grudge, and the air always tastes like salt and regret mixed with that faint, briny tang of low tide exposing the kelp forests below. Picture it, I'm out here at dawn, mug of black coffee steaming in my call-used hands, the kind that scorches your tongue just right, watching the fog roll in thick as a wool blanket. The lighthouse horn gives its low, mournful bellow every 30 seconds, a sound that's been my alarm clock since I was knee-high to a crab pot. I'm in my element, you know, sweeping the salt crust off the Adirondack chairs, prepping for the handful of guests who trickle in for the solitude, and my grandma's sourdough pancakes fluffy as sea foam, with that yeasty bite that lingers like an old friend's laugh. And then bam! Out of nowhere, this powder blue Tesla zips up my gravel drive like it owns the damn cliffs, kicking up pebbles that ping off the lighthouse base like erratic Morse code. The door swings open, and out steps Victoria Langford, Tory to her friends, but let's call her what she is, the queen of coastal busybodies. She's decked out in those oversized sunglasses that scream I'm too important for UV rays, a linen pantsuit that's somehow spotless despite the mud, and heels that sink into the dirt like they're auditioning for a comedy sketch. Before I can even set my coffee down, she's waving a clipboard like it's the Ark of the Covenant, her voice slicing through the fog sharper than a filleting knife. Mr. Rivera. This is an official notice from the Driftwood Bay Preservation Society. Your establishment is in violation of Ordinance 47B. The light pollution from your porch bulbs is disrupting the migratory patterns of the endangered puffins. Cease operations immediately, or we'll have to escalate to the county. I blink, coffee halfway to my lips, the horn blaring right on cue like it's laughing at me. Puffins in Driftwood Bay, the nearest colony's 50 miles north, and my porch bulbs are solar lanterns that flicker like fireflies. What would you do if some transplant from Marin County rolled up to your doorstep, clipboard in hand, demanding you shutter your family legacy over imaginary birds? Would you laugh, yell, or, like me, just stand there in your faded Coast Guard hoodie, feeling that slow burn of stubborn fire ignite in your gut? If you've ever been steamrolled by a self-righteous gatekeeper with a fake badge and zero chill, drop your story in the comments below. Let's turn this into a war chest of wins, proof that us regular Joes can flip the script on the entitled elite. And hey, if this tale hits home, smash that subscribe button. I've got more where this came from, Underdog epics with the receipts, the kind that remind you justice isn't just a word, it's a tide that turns. Alright, let's rewind a bit, because to understand the madness, you gotta know the marrow of this place and the bones I buried here. Driftwood Bay's no postcard paradise, it's a rugged spit of land where the Oregon coast chews up dreams and spits out legends. Think weathered clapboard cottages huddled against 100-foot pines that whisper secrets in the wind, the constant roar of waves pounding basalt cliffs like a drumline from hell, and that earthy petrichor smell after a storm that clings to your skin for days. Population, 847 souls, give or take a seasonal fisherman or two. We've got one diner slinging clam chowder thick as axle grease, a bait shop that doubles as the post office, and my pride and joy, the Blackfin Lighthouse bed and breakfast. See, I grew up in the shadow of that 80-foot tower literally. My grandparents snagged it in the 60s when the Coast Guard decommissioned it, turning the keeper's quarters into a cozy inn for storm chasers and soul searchers. Grandpa was a salvager, pulling shipwrecks from the surf with nothing but a winch and a prayer. Grandma baked bread that could resurrect the dead. They raised me here after my folks drowned in a squall when I was 8. Yeah, the ocean gives and takes with equal cruelty. I joined the Guard at 18, spent a decade dodging rogue waves and rescuing idiots in cabin cruisers, but 4 years ago, when cancer took grandma, I came home. Sold my Seattle apartment, traded epaulets for an apron, and poured every dime into keeping the Blackfin afloat. It's not just a B&B, it's my anchor. My 6-year-old daughter, Lila, curly-haired firecracker with her mom's eyes, runs the front desk like a tiny admiral, charming guests with tales of ghost ships. This place is our legacy, our livelihood, the only steady heartbeat in a life that's been all tempests. Enter Victoria Langford, stage left, about 18 months back. She's 58 going on 28 in entitlement years, with that polished bob of ash blonde hair that screams weekly blowouts, Botox smooth skin that doesn't crack even when she's snarling, and a collection of statement necklaces that jangle like warning bells. Tori washed up from California Gold Tech hubby cashed out on some app that tracks your carbon footprint while you jet to Bali and plunked down $3 million on the old Whitaker estate, a glass-walled monstrosity perched on the bluff overlooking my lighthouse. From her infinity pool, she could probably see the freckles on my bald eagle tattoo. But Tori didn't come to retire, she came to conquer. Preserve the village, she called it, forming this Driftwood Bay Preservation Society out of thin air. Dues from the locals $50 a pop for beautification projects, and suddenly she's got business cards, a website glitchy as hell, and a gavel she bangs at made-up meetings in the community center. Her beef with me simple: obstruction of view. That Whitaker bluff gives her a panorama of the entire bay except my lighthouse squats right in the foreground, its whitewashed tower and red lantern roof blocking her sunset yoga sessions. Never mind that it's been there since 1892, a federal historic site. To Tori, it's an eyesore, a tacky tourist trap siphoning guests from her planned eco-retreat code for overpriced glamping pods. She wants me gone sell cheap, so she can raise it for her expansion. And with her society, she's got the fake authority to make my life hell. It's personal, yeah, but it's bigger. If she breaks me, she breaks the bay. Fishermen lose their quiet respite, artists their muse, the whole scrappy soul of this place gets paved over for kombucha bars and Tesla chargers. The first shot across the bow came gentle like, a week after her arrival. I'm in the kitchen, elbow deep in pie crust. Lila's birthday's tomorrow, apple with cheddar, grandma's recipe when the mail slot clatters. Envelope from the DBPS, all embossed and official looking. Notice of aesthetic violation, unauthorized signage. My hand-painted Blackfin B&B, room at the end of the world shingle. Apparently, it clashes with the natural palette. Fine, I think. Slap some driftwood on it, call it rustic. But Tori doesn't do subtle escalation, she does symphonic. Month 1, the complaints flood in. Anonymous tips to the county: my septic system's leaking contaminants into the sacred tide pools it passed inspection last spring. Code enforcement shows up, boots crunching my wild rose path, scratching heads at the pristine leach field. I show 'em the permits, share a thermos of chowder, and they leave chuckling about California dreaming. But Tori's relentless. Next, the noise ordinance beef. My wind chimes, bamboo and shells from a wrecked dhow I salvaged apparently disturb wildlife at decibels exceeding 65 dB. I measure it myself with a free app on my phone, 42 dB on a gusty day, quieter than her yappy Yorkie that barks at seals. Humor in it, sure. I start a TikTok series, Chimegate, slow-mo videos of the chimes dancing with captions like endangering puffins since 2023. Locals eat it up, shares hit 5K, but Tori, she doubles down. By month 3, it's personal warfare. Lila's school bus stop right by my gate, safe as houses, gets relocated per a DBPS safety directive. Kids trekking a mile along the cliff trail, dodging potholes and poison oak. I rally the parents at the diner over pie and potables, old man Hargrove from the bait shop growling, that witch thinks she can reroute the tide next. We petition the school board, I dig out my guard log books, map the routes hazards like a nautical chart. Bus stop reinstated, but not before Tori corners me at the post office, her perfume a cloying orchid bomb choking the air. Alex, darling, it's for the children. Your vibe just isn't family friendly. Vibe lady, my vibe built this town. Sarcasm bubbles up, tell you what, Tori, I'll tone down the vibe if you tone down the Yorkie choir at 5 a.m. Her smile cracks like thin ice, that's when the legal threats drop. Month 5, certified mail, thick as a phone book. Cease and desist, nuisance operation. Cites a litany of ordinances, fictional ones, like Bayfront Illumination Act of 2011 demanding I dim the lighthouse beam, a historic fixture, federally mandated or face 10K fines. My stomach knots, that's 3 months' revenue, gone. Lila notices, asks why mommy's picture, her real mom, lost to the waves too, looks sadder on the mantle. I can't let this touch her. Time to counterpunch. I'm no lawyer, but 12 years in the guard taught me paperwork's a weapon. I start a file, every email, every notice, time-stamped and tabbed. Rally the troops. Hargrove loans me his ancient desktop for research. Sally from the diner, ex-paralegal, deciphers the legalese over midnight coffee that smells like burnt hazelnut and desperation. One incident stands out, pure irony gold. Tori hosts her first society mixer at the community center, white wine spritzers and finger sandwiches that taste like cardboard, regret inviting everyone but me. Word S.